On Friday, in testimony to the European Parliament, it was released Friday morning, I should say. It was written testimony. Snowden wrote that he reported policy or legal issues related to spying programs to more than 10 officials. Now, remember, he was a private contractor, so he reported them to his employers. He asked specifically if he felt he had exhausted all other avenues before deciding to leak classified information. He wrote, yes, I had reported these clearly problematic programs to more than 10 distinct officials, none of whom took any action to address them. As an employee of a private company rather than a direct employee of the U.S. government, I was not protected by U.S. whistleblower laws, and I would not have been protected from retaliation and legal sanction for revealing classified information about law breaking in accordance with the recommended processes. This is important because we've heard on multiple occasions by the president, by NSA officials, that there were channels for him to report this, and he just didn't do it. He went on to write about the reaction he received when he provided or presented his concerns to co-workers and bosses. He said the responses fell into two camps. The first were well-meaning but hushed warnings not to rock the boat for fear of the sort of retaliation that befell former NSA whistleblowers like Wiebe, Biney, and Drake. Everyone in the intelligence community is aware of what happens to people who report concerns about unlawful but authorized operations. The other responses, Snowden said, were similar, suggesting that he let the issue be someone else's problem. Meanwhile, he also reiterated his request for asylum from the EU. He's yet to get any type of response. He says that parliamentarians and the national governments have told me that the U.S., and I quote, will not allow EU partners to offer political asylum to me. He went on to say global surveillance capabilities are being used on a daily basis for the purpose of economic espionage, that a major goal of the U.S. intelligence community is to produce economic intelligence is the worst kept secret in Washington. He was also asked as to whether or not he was approached by Russian intelligence agents. And he said, of course, even the Secret Service of Andorra would have approached me if they had had the chance. That's their job. But I didn't take any documents with me from Hong Kong, and while I'm sure they were disappointed, it doesn't take long for an intelligence service to realize when they're out of luck. So that's what we heard from, or at least read from Snowden via written testimony to the EU last week.